I am doing says. And says is, as I say, in italics for a reason, because it's part of the song. You have to say the word says at the very end of it. However, what I want to focus on right now is the very beginning again to remind you that this D, 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 is actually not, it is D, 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 D throughout all the middle of all these, and around it is, remember triplet or short, or long, short, triplet, triplet, triplet. It gives you that swing, instead of a, not, well, I'm trying to imitate a dotted eighth from a 16th versus a triplet, I'm a quarter with an eighth triplet. Not an eighth, it's a quarter, no triplet. Oh, it's an eighth, no triplet. Oh, it's triplet. Okay, so, but that D, 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 D in there, I'm not doing it. I am doing it, but I'm doing something to it. That's what I'm doing, something to it. I'm brushing a C sharp. Now, a C sharp in an F is a +5, but it is not. It's really a nice 6, an F6, but you can make a nice little boogie in there between the +5 and the 6. And that's what when I would try to notate that here, it would affect the rhythm of the rest of the stuff, and it didn't show it as a grace. I'm talking about C sharp. Yeah. Into this D, 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 where I'm triplet, 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 on this D, D in between the triplet of the melody. Triplet, triplet, long, short, long. I'm brushing, not brushing, but crushing at the same time. The C sharp right next to D, which is the +5 of F. 5 is C, I'm making the C sharp, but I'm crushing it. Look at the way it is. And then you let up the little, when a crush, instead of a slide, would be like sticking one finger and sliding from like, especially a sharp to a letter is always a great, or a flat to a letter. Anyway, either way. But a crush, you press 2 notes together and then lift one of them. And in this case, I'm lifting the C sharp. So it's like, it starts together and then my finger lifts. Although my left hand is a different finger. But look at the way that sounds versus, kind of makes it like dirtier, kind of like sloppier, but it's cool because I want that in there. That's why, sometimes when you're looking at music and you're like, well, when that person plays it, it sounds different. That's because sometimes they're doing some of that secret stuff that just wouldn't notate correctly. Although if I made notes to this, like, what do they call those things at the bottom of a book? Like, just notes, notes. I would notate that as an extra. I'm doing that all the time. But when I get to the preceding B flat 7 2 chord, I do not do that crush there. So it's only in the beginning. And that is basically what I'm kind of talking about here. However, what I'm also talking about is before we're going in the bass, root, 5th, root, or B flat would be a B flat to an F, the 5th, or down to an F, which is still the 5th of the B flat. Anyway, what are we doing in between? We're playing the chord. We are actually, yes, hitting first the letter name of the chord, hitting part of those letters, like bouncing from the whole left hand. See, there's that crush. See, I'm doing the root to the 5th. That's what I'm gonna say. 5th, root, 5th, along with that crush. And then I go, I'm going to explain that a little later about how I go, just with the simple breaking of a solid. I'm just going to a solid. And then, of course, when I go to the B flat 7, I got to switch the chord and also the bass from a B flat to an F. I go right to a B flat 7. I'm going uninverted, but it's right on my left hand from my bass note of B flat to start with to an F, the 5th of B flat, and then back to F. Oh, and then what am I hitting? Oh, I'm hitting the 2, the 3, and the 6. Because the cool thing in, I guess you could call it ragtime or two-step or whatever left hand, is you don't have to hit all the notes of the chord. It's almost the same rule that you always have in the right hand, where you don't really have to hit the notes, the letter name of the note that you're going after when you're hopping to, because you've already played it. You played it as the downbeat. Like if it's an F, you know it's an F. So I don't have to hit another F when I go up to a hop to those notes of the chord. And sometimes I want a different color of the chord. So if I want a different color of the chord, I'm going to put things in it like 2 against the 3. And maybe I don't have enough fingers or fast enough to grab the 5, but I don't really need a 5 because I've talked about it before. The 5th is a strengthener, but not has to be there. But it's a colorer, yes, but it's mostly a strengthener. But the 6th is a colorer, just like the 2 is. It's like one of those legal additions, you know what I mean? I always talk about. But anyways, there I'm making a happy chord. I'm imitating the F6 by just playing 3 notes. Because I've already played the F, so now I'm playing the 2, the 3, and the 6. That's, and then to the 5 of the F, and then we're going to go to the B flat. In the B flat, I'm just going to play it straight. I'm playing every single note, including the B flat, but it just turns out that it happens to be right next to a flat and very easily to be up on the flats together with another finger. So I might have just picked it up there. And then back to the F, 2, 3, 6, and then the riff that I always talk about, the B minor 7 with the B flat bass. Here he goes. That is this riff right here. And remember that I always say, you're like, oh my God, it looks so complicated. No, if you break it down, it's not. It's a little B minor chord that you're playing in your right hand. And in the left hand, you're playing a B flat. You just go up the keyboard. I'm just playing my finger going. And I've learned how to time in between my thumbs. And then I'm going to hit a B flat very top with a crossover. This is my B flat hand is the left hand, and my B minor chord is my right hand. So let's go. Well, I did it pretty fast. Sometimes it's harder to control it a little slower than it is even go fast. That's true. So anyway, back to the beginning. And then, of course, the rock, here, instead of playing just sitting there during the time, half of music, I just took the chord and I rocked it back and forth. It looks so complicated. It's not. It's just me holding out the top note and rocking underneath it while I'm bouncing between the root and the 5th. And it's just going by there, and then back to the beginning, just like that. Instead of it goes, answers itself. The original melody, instead of, it's going. It finished this little part of the verse, and now it's going to do a climb by doing octave. Pick a note wherever you want to go, but go the opposite direction. That's all I'm saying. Your hands are going to go opposite directions and octaves. So here we go. Start on the same note, and I pick the notes, and the notes turn out to be G, making an E minor type thing, but I have a no chord. Notice there is a no chord symbol up there, no chord, because it's just moving so fast. And then I picked a A flat with an E flat bass. So there's the walk. I'm opposite going opposite, which transforms me into E flat 7. Look at this great chord that I'm playing here. Remember, I don't need a letter name, just like I don't need the letter name when I'm playing it in my right hand. I don't need the letter name when I'm playing on my left hand and doing hop. Same rule. I need a letter name now, but I don't need it later. I don't need to play an E flat here, no, because I'm just going to do it. But I'm going to cover the rest of it. 3, 5, 7. Not playing major 7 here, playing 7 and 2. I am playing the letter name to the root, same system with a new, remember, kind of like, what if it was just transposed up? And that's what I did. I just transposed it to an E flat type of thing. Oh. Just I was going. But of course I have in between. But now that I've done the transposed climb, opposite direction, this is to E flat 7. And then I went to a D flat 7. D flat 7 too. Rocking back and forth, just like I was doing on the B flat 7. And I'm back to, and this next riff was just crawling down by yourself by flip-flopping over to a flat, to a note, to a thumb, a thumb, a third, to a thumb, to a third, to a thumb. Oh, wait, I just hit a button. And that's why your thumb has to reach for that. All right, so back to the E flat. To the D flat. And then to the E flat. And now another climb. Let's start it on B flat, because it answered. I'm on B flat, so I'm going to climb from B flat. Opposite direction octaves. Opposite direction octaves. I picked, you can go whole step or half step, whatever. You just start experiment. In my case, I picked a half step and another half step in this case. Before it wasn't all halves in both sides, but I'm going opposite direction. Takes you a transpose to the next note that I used as C7, and I flat nined it. Now, everyone says you can keep saying 2. You don't say 9. That's right, because there is no 9. But there is a flat 9 and a sharp 9 here in Studio E, and this is one of them. It's not a flat 2. It's a flat 9, because it has to be 9 away in order to work. But you don't need to stay there. You can use it as a sync note. In other words, and that's the other great thing, is that it's right in your hand from like a flat, which it is flat 9 to the root, to the 1, to the 8. It's in the C7, and I'm still going to go root 5th, and look at the notes here. I've only 61 keys, so I'm a little stretched. And then from the resolution, I'm fooling around from everything from the C7, and then I found the magic chord go to. Listen to that. Now I understand that for a person that has not as many years of stretching into the keys that I have, that you might not be able to do that. And that is a stretch. Every note is stretch. An A flat, a C, an E flat, a G, and a B flat all in one hand. Now, some of you can do it really easy, but I mean, my hand's not that big either, but I know people have smaller hands or whatever, and they're not even used to pressing that way all the way on top. Being on top of it, instead of being way out here, being right on top, like I always say, to play in to the whole dimension of 3s and 2s and 3s and 2s. Anyways, I'm going to go stretch right back then, but I want to see this one rule now. If you ever, hold on, in any of my songs, can't do it, what notes would you pick? You wouldn't pick the bottom 3. You might pick the top 3. Pick the top 1. I said you could play my songs by just playing the top note and the chord letter name, or the bottom of the fraction. If it's a fraction chord, you have to play the bottom. But this will work. This will work if you play these songs. It looks so complicated. What I'm trying to explain when I'm looking at these is yes. But remember, I always write it in the key signature, so you have everything marked, every measure, whatever you need. You can flip between the sharps and flats really quick because you can. That's what's really cool. And that's what I choose to do, because let the computer do the work. Hey, doggy. Anyway, so here now, F minor 7, 2. And it looks all complicated, but no, it's just rocking the same chord. Then I have a nice big stretch chord too, and it's a D flat 7. Don't need a D flat in the right hand, it's in the left hand. And that is F, B. Oh, the B is the 7. As you can see, it is not marked natural or anything because, again, we're right in the key of C, so everything comes out great. If you need to change right away to something, you can. Without all these naturals all over the place and everything, you don't need naturals anymore unless you need them within the measure. That's what's really cool. And in this case, it's a +4. I have no plus 11, so it's just +4. And this great chord, you're right, I love this chord. This D flat 7 with a +4. And use that common note G at the top and watch it resolve. Isn't that beautiful? It's right one half step. One half step away from C major 7 2. And with all those notes, I took them and I made a riff. And I went right up the keys. Remember, I have to start really low because of the size of this keyboard. But in order to get the full riff, which takes a couple notches. So in the time of 4 beats, I have to get up there. And I'm going to play, I'm going to have to play some 64ths in order to get up there. But because of the unevenness of my fingers breaking apart, sometimes you might see a 32nd in there. But at the same time, that's the point. It looks so complicated, but it's not. If you really see what it is E minor chord, it's like something that you see. It's an inverted, it's a C major 7, but if you're just looking at the parts, it's an E minor 7 inverted. Here's an E minor 7, and here's an E minor 7 inverted from bottom to top. And watch, if I just kind of go over it, how do I want to say it? I start spread out because, my left hand catches up with my left hand catches up. Oh, wait, it's like a tag. It's like a relay race. Hey, man, get out of the way. Hey, man, get out of the way. Hey, man, get out of the way. Hey, get out of the way. Hey, get out of the way, please. Please, y'all. Please get out of the way, please. Yeah, please. During the time 1, 2, 3, 4, and landing on really high G. And then back to repeat the same thing that I was just playing with the C7 plus time, and then F7, and then that favorite chord, that chord that's going to resolve, but not this time. My favorite chord, then D flat 7 +4, block to block, moving around, playing it like this. Says. Yes, see on the third beat, if you're going on that D flat 7, one measure, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, says 4. You gotta go with that D flat 7, that triple, the quarter note triple at the top, quarter note triple, that's what I'm trying to think about. 1, 2, says. Everyone in the room has to say says. And they can just go back to talking while you play the whole song again until it goes. Yes, watch. 1, 2, says 4. Over and over and over again, over and over and over again the whole evening. Yeah, it's really fun.